he's somebody who, I think before we come back to him, has really been trying to address the things that he wants in his life. I think he feels a little bit lonely. I think he wants to have a kind of human connection, maybe romantic relationship. And also, despite the fact that his brother sort of holds against him, that he hasn't reached out to him, I think he's been kind of keeping tabs on his brother. And he's just more comfortable sort of putting his brother in that relationship in a place where he sort of knows it's there. But their different ways of approaching relationship have left his brother feeling like hurt and neglected and kind of ignored. And it isn't because Christian doesn't love him and care about him. He does very much. In fact, I think he really uses this opportunity of this events of this movie to reconnect with his brother because he wants to. He just doesn't have a reason. The central core of this movie is about them reconnecting and forging like a relationship that actually is going to sustain now until the next movie. I mean, Brax is wholly unencumbered by any sense of, what's legal or right or wrong. I mean, he really is a more, in terms of his like work, he is sort of, I think, assumes as an assassin. Now, I don't know any real assassins, but I have to kind of assume that if there are such people, they, or at least in the case of Braxton, the way I reconcile the fact that I think he's fundamentally a good person who cares about his brother and a character that one likes watching the movie, he just assumes that and knows, in fact, like the people that he's hired to kill, he's really just the instrument of one bad guy killing another one, and here's some mob boss, mafia guy, Russian gangster, and he comforts himself with the idea that like they're all bad people, and he's just doing a job. And I think all of us ultimately kind of struggle and try to assign some kind of order or sense of reason to our lives and choices we make, and and there's also this sort of very classic appeal of the kind of hot-headed, like devil may care, whatever you want to say, character who's also quite roguish and likable. And I think what Jon Bernthal does in this movie is play that character in a way that's as good as anyone has done it. He's really wonderful and powerful and interesting to watch. You like the guy, and you find yourself kind of trying to square how it is you like him so much, and also knowing that he's like guy who kills people for a living. I really credit Jon. He's fabulous. I love the guy. I love being around him. He's wonderful. I knew him somewhat and already really liked him and kind of came away loving him and loving every minute. And he's so talented and so smart and so invests himself. It was a joy to work with him every day. And I remember shooting that, and I remember we fell into a very natural rhythm that we seem able to just fall into. Honestly, the guy's just great. I'm able to respond and connect to him. I also think that because I find him so appealing and engaging and interesting and warm and cool and smart and funny, you see that. Like, that's genuine. We get along. And I think that's what I mean, you can't fake it. Chemistry is a hard thing to conjure up. Whether it's like romantic relationships or any kind of relationship like family or best friends, those are all the kinds of relationships that they get forged over time. You're just used to being in that person's company. You kind of almost develop a sort of rhythm or an energy around them. And to fall into that and make it believable is very hard because like I said, it's a hard thing to fake. And I think I just credit the fact that I just find him so spectacular that put me at ease. I don't think I would have been able to do it in the same way with another actor. He's a guy that I had thought about a lot, and because of the first movie, I developed some relationships with people that gave me a deeper, broader, more rich understanding, I think, of the character. And by the time I got to the filming this movie, I was the lucky beneficiary of some relationships in my own life that really helped, some people that I really love and I just think are marvelous, spectacular, wonderful people who are very close to me. And in some ways had some similarities to this character, and so I'm just really lucky again in that regard. And I was not only able to, but I was excited to bring some of that to this part, and I just felt like, boy, you're lucky as an actor when you've got the closer and the sharper the sort of model or the inspiration for a character is, the more easily you can draw on it, the more easily you can kind of answer questions for yourself. And so I actually was much more excited and felt like I sort of understood this guy better. Cynthia's a terrific actress. I mean, and I really love the character that she's created. I love watching her, and I love, again, being in the movie with her. I think she's just interesting, compelling, real. She doesn't seem to know how to fake it. You know, if she's gonna do it, it's gonna be authentic. And that, from the point of view of an actor, that's who you want in the scene with. They're gonna make you better. They're gonna ground you. They're gonna improve your own performance. And I benefited from stuff that I did with her because she really carried a lot of those scenes. And she is really, a very pivotal protagonist in this movie. And I think she's great. And I think she strikes me as a real person, not a person in a movie. And that's a very difficult thing to do. And I'm again, a huge fan. And I really like everybody involved in this. And I hope I get to keep doing these movies, maybe not without such long intervals even between them, because it's like old home week. I just really love everybody who did this. It was a joy going to work. And if you're lucky that you get to not only have this opportunity to do this work, but it's joyful and it's fun, and the people you work with make you better and are wonderful people, and that was the case with this. I mean, I don't have like a pre-formulated way where I hope like audiences respond, other than like when something is humorous, I hope they laugh. But what that laughter is, I think, is an indicator that it's touched them, that really, humor to me is kind of the highest form of intelligence in a lot of ways, which I thought Christian should be funny. And some of the people who inspired this character in me were very funny people. And I want to bring that sense of humor in particular to life in the first one, and then much more so in this one. And I understood it better. And I really, I think like if someone makes us laugh, that we know we like them, kind of. It's a way of connecting with one another, which sort of says like we share the same view of things and we find the same things ironic or absurd or incongruous or whatever it is. But it's like the reason you smile when you hear a joke is because it kind of lights a very particular kind of spark in us that I really think sort of connects us. Like there's no humor really on your own. It has to be engendered by someone else, or oftentimes experienced in groups. Like it makes laughter more powerful. And one of the really fun things about seeing this movie with an audience was hearing the laughter. Just trying to find my